What's going on, dude? Having a super chill day. It is a beautiful day. Perfect for making some ghost pepper lime chicken, throwing mine on the smoker. If you don't have a smoker, a charcoal grill would be amazing. You could also toss in this in the oven if you don't have either of those. Nice and spicy, nice and tangy, beautiful smoke on it. You're gonna love it. First thing I'm gonna do is make a seasoned salt blend that's gonna be for the chicken, then we're gonna make a beautiful marinade. So we're gonna let that seasoned salt sit on the chicken for about 30 minutes, about the time that it's gonna take to make that marinade and get the charcoal grill or the smoker warmed up. It's banging. Let's get it. For the spice blend, I'm going to start off with 2 dried habaneros. These dried habaneros are so good. Very fruity, almost like a raisin. Little like tobacco smell to it. I don't know, they're good, man. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't like the seeds in them. I find that the seeds and dried peppers tend to have a bitterness to them. So have a pan that's been warmed up over medium-low heat right there that we're going to toast the spices, get that aroma out of them, you know what I mean? Like 2 tablespoons worth of black peppercorn. It's the peppercorn medley that I like to use, right? Anise. I love the flavor of anise and habaneros. The anise is gonna work really well off of the oak and apple wood I'm gonna use to smoke with later on. Just thinking about like spices, how it's gonna complement the marinade, how it's gonna complement like the smoky wood that I'm gonna be using when I'm cooking the chicken. A little bit of cumin. Cumin works really well with smoked meats. A little bit of cinnamon too. Cinnamon and habanero, cinnamon and ghost peppers work really well too. It really works well off of that fruitiness that they have, and works well with the spice. The aroma that you're gonna get off of this is just fantastic. I mean, simple trick right there to get maximum flavor is to toast your spices real quick. Smells so good. Just a couple minutes toasted in the pan, and then we're gonna spice grinder it, yeah? Probably a good thing to make this dish outside because there's a lot of spicy fumes that are gonna get released in the air. Have some way to evacuate all the fumes because ghost peppers all on their own are very, very spicy. We're toasting dried habaneros in there. Do this outside or in the kitchen, open window, hood, whatever you gotta do, yeah? Kill the heat on that. Really wish you could smell this because this is just freaking amazing. So good. I lost the little safety thing to the spice grinder, so I kind of have to. Whenever you do grind up spicy peppers, I let this kind of sit for a couple seconds just to let the powder relax a little bit. Basically for this, I'm gonna go, I have roughly like 2 tablespoons worth of ground spice right there. Now I'm gonna basically match that quantity with salt, so basically equal parts. That's more than enough for this little amount of chicken I'm doing. I'm only gonna do 1 whole chicken. This is just fine sea salt. I find that fine sea salt works the best when you're making seasoned salts, just because it distributes better. Really just going off a look. I want to see basically equal parts of that seasoning blend and then salt. It's got to be kind of methodical with the flavors that you put together. You need to taste it. I'm looking for how salty it is and then like how flavorful, like how everything really comes together. That is just spot on, dude. That works. That works. So the last thing that I actually want to put in, the zest of 1 lime. The salt's gonna draw out a little bit of the oils that are in the zest, right? That's where most of the lime flavor is at, is in the zest. It's gonna flavor the salt even more. Gorgeous, man. Next thing on our list is gotta make the marinade. I have a couple fresh ghost peppers. I'm also gonna toss in a couple other peppers that I had. Just happen to have some cayenne peppers and some green serrano peppers, and also toss in just kind of give it a little more body to it. I'm gonna start off with 1 shallot. Nice out, man. No breeze in the air, which is not normal for around here. It's gonna work out really nicely for smoking, man. Weather permitting, always. Gonna thinly slice the shallot. Give it like a really, really rough mince. You don't need to be super precise with the cuts of this. It's just rustic. We're just outside barbecuing, man. Garlic. Usually give it a light smash. That kind of helps get that paper layer off of it. And then cut the root end off of it. Smelly garlic, dude, so good. Shallots, garlic in that bowl. So in order to get maximum flavor out of the garlic and the shallot, next thing I like to do is hit it with a little bit of acidity. That would be the lime. And then a little bit of white balsamic. Just because there wasn't that much juice to come out of that lime. Probably used about a tablespoon worth of lime juice. Got a little bit ahead of myself. I wanted to throw in some lime zest in that too. throw in a little bit of salt. Salt's gonna pull out even more of the water content that's in the shallot and the garlic, just adding more flavor basically. We're salting it now and letting it marinate a little bit, which is gonna give us more flavor. I have a mixture of my serrano peppers that I have. These were previously frozen too, so that's why they're a little soft. Still tastes good though. Tabasco peppers that are a little bit on the small side. It's okay, still good, still spicy. Rough chop on everything. Okay, some of my homegrown cayennes. Seeds are gonna stay intact. You need to be a little bit more careful with the ghost peppers, handling them with bare hands. If you're super sensitive to capsaicin, which I don't know anybody that's not sensitive to like how spicy ghost peppers are, you definitely want to wear rubber gloves if you have them. Beautiful. Okay, ghost peppers. Like I said, these were previously frozen, so they're a little soft. Like freezing it's gonna burst the cellular structure of the pepper itself, you know what I mean? They're still good, still fresh, still spicy, still delicious. I love the smell of a ghost pepper. Reminds me of a red bell pepper, but then it's spicy, right? Nice and fruity. Kind of a little bit more of an earthiness to it than a red bell pepper is, but still nonetheless, it's delicious. So we're gonna let this hang out. It's basically like, you could almost use this like as a salad dressing too, right? Typically go equal parts when I'm making a salad dressing, like a vinaigrette, right? Equal parts oil and then some sort of acid. I like having very like acidic forward vinaigrettes, if that makes sense. You could go 2-to-1 ratio, 2 parts oil, 1 part acid. I like going 1-to-1. It's kind of a personal preference. Letting all these ingredients sit with the salt, with the vinegar, it's gonna basically, we're just marinating it. We're extracting all that flavor that's in all these ingredients, right? Salt pulls out moisture, salt enhances the flavor of food, okay? Oh my god, that's good. It's spicy. Woof, good. A little bit of oil. Equal parts. Next thing I gotta do is break down that chicken. I go with whole chickens because number one, the cost on them is so much better than buying chicken breast, buying like chicken thighs in a package, right? And then you use the bones, make a nice, beautiful stock with that, right? So it's just, everything gets used up. A little bit more cost effective, especially food costs nowadays. It's getting really, really ridiculous. So you gotta get the most out of everything that you possibly can. I mean, you always should do that anyway, but I like to have like its own, very own cutting board that I know that only raw chicken touches, okay? It's just helps with cross-contamination. Cage-free, no antibiotics, you know, try to get the good stuff when you can. First thing I like to do is whack off the thighs. Follow the natural seam of the chicken. Very sharp boning knife. Boning knives are gonna help you get as close to those bones that you possibly can. Once you feel the spine, then you can kind of separate the thigh bone socket. Cut as close to that tailbone as you possibly can, and then you're gonna get the most out of it as you can. Do this a couple hundred times, you'll probably get pretty good at it. The wings. I like to do what's called airliner chickens. I'm gonna cut up the wings like that, but then leave just a little nub on there. Go around for that breastbone. Cool thing about using a boning knife is, number one, it only touches meat, so it's always gonna be super, super sharp. And number two, you're gonna be able to get as close to that bone as you possibly can the whole time. Less waste, dude. Food cost is crazy nowadays, so you definitely wanna get the most out of your food that you possibly can, especially if you're cooking for a bigger family like I am. Okay, airliner chicken, boom. One of the very first steakhouses I worked in, very, very nice steakhouse, served airliner chicken. It looked really nice on a plate, and the bone gives you good flavor too. Get used to the anatomy of the chicken and finding the joints and then separating the joints. I like to save this carcass. Once I get a good amount of them, like 5 or 6 of them, then I'll make a big, really, really big chicken stock with it, make soups and whatever, super sauces, okay? So chicken, right? We made this beautiful seasoned salt. I'm gonna go very generously with it. Typically, I like to let the salt sit on it for 30, 40 minutes, somewhere around there. You want to season it pretty heavily because by the time you put it in the marinade, some of the salt content is going to get washed out through the marinade. We are cooking outside, so I'm kind of keep things covered. I'm going to go wash my hands, let this sit 30, 40 minutes, then we'll put it in the marinade, warm up that smoker, and then just keep going with this ghost pepper lime chicken, okay? Let's marinate some chicken. So, about 30, 40 minutes, okay? Smoking chicken when it's room temperature like this is very, very optimal. I find that it doesn't take as long, and then the texture is a little bit better. Could probably use a gallon like Ziploc if you wanted to. I just don't really like wasting plastic if I don't have to. Fire up the smoker. It's gonna take about 40 minutes to get it to full smoking temperature that I want it to be, and then we'll keep going. So I got lump charcoal in there. It's gonna be the heat source. I'm using oak, and then I'm using applewood for the smoky flavor. Periodically, I like to just mix this around in the marinade, just making sure everything is getting covered with that marinade. It smells good. The aroma that it's putting off is so amazing, man. As that firebox is warming up, I have a little bit of spray that you gotta keep this thing seasoned. It's like a seasoning a cast iron skillet. It's gonna help the firebox last a little bit longer. Smoker's nice and warmed up. This is about the time where I like to put the chicken on, because I do like having a heavy smoke on it right at first, and then as the chicken cooks, I'm gonna make sure that smoke is nice and clean. I'm gonna smoke about 225 to 250, somewhere around there. So as far as the monitoring the temperature, I'm gonna pull the chicken breast at 165. I'm not worried about monitoring the temperature on the chicken thighs, because dark meat you could push upwards of 180 and it's still gonna be nice and moist and flavorful and nice and tender. Chicken breast, on the other hand, I'm more concerned with, because if you get it too hot, like 175 is just gonna be too dry, too tough. Controlling that temperature, 225 to 250, it'll probably take about an hour and a half, something like that. As needed, I'm gonna throw on some more charcoal to keep the heat going, and then a little bit more wood to keep that smoke coming, yeah? Boom. So as far as the wood, keep the wood on top of the smoker, and then when I know I have about 5-6 minutes away from needing to add the wood, I'll put the wood on top of the firebox. It's basically like preheating the wood. You put it on a hot charcoal bed, and then it should immediately catch flame. That's how I'm gonna be able to get nice clean smoke, kicking the chicken the rest of the way off. Like I said, I like having a heavy smoke in the very beginning, but then as I add more wood for the smoky finish, then I like to have it a little bit more clean. I love it when that sound goes off. It means that we're ready to have some chicken, dude. We're gonna take the chicken off the smoker, let it rest for a couple minutes, and then we'll give it a try, man. I love the smell that smoker puts off too. It's so good. It has a beautiful color on it. Going for the chicken breast, super tender. You can feel how it cuts with the knife. There's a moment of truth right here. Wow. Instantly you get like that marinade flavor right up front. Smoky, then it gets spicy. The chicken has a fantastic amount of moisture to it. Nice and flavorful, man. Wow. This is probably the best chicken I've ever had. Normally I don't like chicken, and for me to say that, it's gotta be good. One thing I really don't like about spicy food is a lot of times that the flavors aren't really built and developed like this is. All you get is the spicy sensation. This actually has flavor to it. It has like really rounded out flavors, full flavor profile. The second you put a piece of chicken in your mouth, it is instant, that flavor from the marinade. It's nice and acidic, smoky, and then that spice kind of just follows all the way through. Between that seasoned salt and the marinade and the smoking process, it's just an amazing piece of chicken. You could use like the recipe for the marinade to make a vinaigrette with that. Toss some ingredients, a little bit of ghost cheese, a little bit of fresh onions, and then this chicken on top. That would be amazing. In the description, I'll put the recipe as always, and then I'll put a couple ideas of what I feel that this chicken would be really nice with, other than just eating it plain like I'm doing right now. This is good. Chicken salads, chicken sandwiches, green salads with this chicken on top of it. Has some cooked pieces of marinade on there. As this is cooking, I want the marinade to cook along with it, and you're just kind of getting bonus flavor, dude. All those peppers, all the garlic, all the shallot, you want that cooking on the chicken, right? It's gonna be flavor, which is the whole point of cooking, right? To have stuff taste good, I would think. So like I said, dude, if you don't have a smoker, or you don't have a charcoal grill, then you could definitely put this in the oven, and that's gonna be very, very delicious. I love the flavor of that seasoned salt. I love the flavor of the marinade, and I love the flavor of the smoke on there. Amazing. I give this one an A+, that's for damn sure.